We finally see the Corki from Humanoid. This is something that Yamato and Amazing brought up on the desk. A true hyper carry in mid lane, similar to the Casio, obviously in sustained damage output. Maybe weaker early on, but can shred through if he gets enough items under his belt. So feels like a solid champion to round out the draft, but still going to be very difficult for Mad Lions early on.
And as we go into Game 5, as we go into the final chance for both of these teams' 2020 season, you can see that both have geared up for late game scaling insurance policies. On SuperMassive side, you have Zeitnot. He has been here so many times before, now piloting something like a Caitlyn. Lilia also scales.
And while the stakes are large, it's important as we set foot onto the Rift to remember how both teams got here. SuperMassive individually outclassing in so many places. One place they have not is in the mid lane. Humanoid, seemingly a force onto himself, has been able to put the hopes of Mad Lions onto his back as he has carried just about every Mad Lions victory in this series. Now on the opposite side, for the top lane, for Armut, he has been a defining factor. He has shut down Arome so many times. He'll have to deal with the might of an early game Renekton, but if he gets to mid and late game on that Malphite, this game might just be unplayable for the likes of Carzzy and Humanoid.
Now I want to talk about the early setup here. Both teams in a standard 5-point, covering the 5 entrances to the jungle as well as the mid lane itself. Now Shadow has made a very quick reset. He ran out, warded with his trinket onto the Raptor camp. That's usually where Lilia does make her delayed invade, and now has reset and picked up a sweeper, usually indicative of early game ganks. However, because he's playing a farming Graves, I don't think it's so much about finding ganks unless it is top lane with that Renekton, but more so about making sure that he remains hidden and secretive in his pathing through the jungle.
And that is normally a Corki. I'm going to say Samoyed. Shout out to Appa and Quickshot, who I'm sure are watching at home. In the meantime, though, of course, Malphite going to use that Granite Shield passive to tank 1 or 2 autos from the blue buff, making Cacaw's early clear that much more powerful. And, well, you talked about scaling, and Lethal Tempo certainly feels like the more scaling rune option choice for the mid lane alongside that Bloodline. But now the engage coming in on Zeitnot, they're just trying to force a big advantage level 1 before the Black Shield enters the picture. One of the few ways that you can beat this lane is just to force summoners early on. As Arome just going all in on the top side. Big Cole the Meek, but he's got the Fury to back it up, and bullying out here early on in this lane phase.
Yeah, and that was the whole plan from Arome to do so. You can see that very early trinket ward down into the river, suspecting that it's going to be a topside start for Cacao, even though both junglers have remained hidden. As there we go, it was a cheeky gank path here from Shadow. Goes around behind the back of the Dragon Pit, doesn't waste any time stealing camps away from Cacao, realizes that he's been spotted, that there's no gank set up bot lane, and immediately back into his jungle. It's red Raptors into blue buff for Shadow.
Just trying to show pressure on the bottom side, trying to limit what Zeitnot and Snowflower can do because they cannot step forward because Cacao is focused, as always. Once again, the Hoover Lilia focused on farming up as much as possible. And while he does have a sizable individual lead right now over Shadow, hasn't turned into anything yet, and has cost his bot lane a little bit of pressure. As you can see, Carzzy and Kaiser playing with a lot more confidence than we might expect early on, courtesy of the EXP advantage they've been able to sustain so far.
And do need to know that it was no split map this time around. It is just going to be a standard 2v2 with junglers now on both bot side. So Carzzy and Kaiser can be aggressive here. You talked about how trying to make early trades before the Black Shield comes in could be the way to start chipping away at health, especially when you have the sustain advantage from the Senna on your side, so you can take very aggressive trade patterns in bot lane. But also, Leona is a long-time skill matchup for Morgana. You know, if she picks the wrong target on the Black Shield, you still use the Zenith Blade to close the distance, and you just swap targets for the Q.
It's also important to note that it heavily limits the playmaking potential of Snowflower and is much more about the laning prowess and obviously shutting down a little bit of the CC options present on the opposite side. So we won't see those Nautilus plays. We won't see those heroic Alistar plays this time around, and that puts more pressure on the rest of the map.
I really want to highlight what Mad Lions have been doing. It's been a really good job. Their Scuttle Crab denial and control. Now, Cacao missed out on bottom crab because Carzzy and Kaiser had priority to deny it from him. He's now trying to walk across the mid lane priority to contest Raptors into top side crab. But Shadow's trying to fight him here. Unfortunately, Humanoid no TP cleanse and doesn't have health.
Fight down though. He'll be bullied out of his own jungle. He's probably going to have to give up Krugs on the top side as we see the engage. Bottom lane, Kaiser locked up. The combo going to come through. Lots of damage going down. Has to be careful. The healing from Carzzy not going to be enough for a while to bring that one back. As now Humanoid is pulled back. Bolu feeling insanely comfortable in this lane. Of course, is set up in terms of early stats as a Juggernaut just to bully out. And additionally, Humanoid starting the Cole, while it will give some life on hit, is not the effective combat stats needed to turn this matchup back. We may see the 2v2 in the mid lane, but this one has to favor SuperMassive as Shadow Shadow is going to get pulled back here, is going to be forced to flash out to safety. Good damage going down onto him as well. And SuperMassive find themselves on the front foot here in the mid lane matchup. Not something that we're used to seeing.
And Dracos, you just did the math for Mad Lions, but apparently they didn't. It's the fact that Corki is sitting on a coal. He has a cleanse. He hasn't gotten to take the back yet. He got chunked out. They do not win the 2v2 right now, and SuperMassive super confident to just repeatedly punch Mad Lions in the face there, and Shadow is losing so much time. This gank has to work for him.
Has to get something. The thing is, Armut is actually incredibly strong right now. Just innately armor bonus.
Oh my God.
He wants 2, but he won't get 2. He'll trade it back, but do they hit him? Shadow will grab it. Armut on the cusp of getting the 2 for 0, but in a game 5, he is laughing, he is smiling, he is unconcerned.
Because that is hashtag worth for SuperMassive. Look at the difference between the junglers right now, 36 to 24. Shadow just showed himself he had to work for that gank. He was just trying to save Arome, and he ends up falling down. And it's not like Armut misses anything. There's the TP. He now grabs the wave. He now is going to have the freeze. This is everything you wanted. This is disaster for Mad Lions in the early game.
Yeah, has the W available. Hits hard. The Q might be expensive, but the rest of the skills aren't, so he has just enough mana to move in there, and Arome just barely not enough damage there to finish the kill off. That could have been disastrous, but now we've hit level 6. Now, important, Armut obviously going to have a lot of power with that ultimate, but Renekton's level 6 is essentially unmatched in terms of individual power spikes. Maybe it will be enough for Arome to find an advantage here, but already off to a start that feeling pretty SuperMassive favored, as Zeitnot and Snowflower are also regaining control over the bottom side, but that might change as Shadow shows up and is looking to fish for a gank.
This is the only lane that he has to play around. Kaiser does have flash. He's looking for the flash on Zeitnot.
Ooh, moving forward, of course, that's what you talked about. The target already isolated, but Cacao now stepping forward. It's going to be good damage coming in. Watch out, Eep. That's going to be 1. Cacao now prancing his way through the entire team. That's going to be 1. He's just looking to hit every single person at the same time. The power of Lilia known here as Shadow tries to finish it off, but cannot get it done. Mad Lions losing out on yet another exchange.
And that's why you can't show yourself like that. SuperMassive are going to know exactly what Shadow wants to do for the next 5 minutes of the game. That was the only option that he had, to play through the kill lane in the Leona, to try to play off of the Ignite and the hard engage. And Cacao is just waiting in darkness and turns it around. It's now kills for Caitlyn, priority on Butt Crab. They can move up into the Infernal Drake after this reset. Like, Mad Lions are so far behind.
And this is credit we have to give Cacao, because he is always bot lane when his bot lane needs him there. Perfect timing coming out. And Kaiser mechanically plays it flawlessly. Sees the black shield go down, immediately flash stuns the other target, but they don't have enough damage to continue to fight this. And this is the power of Lilia. When you can't just blow her up, she will outmaneuver you, she will run around you, you will not hit her hard enough, and you will not hit her nearly as hard as she hits you.
And there's also no reason really for Mad Lions to try to force as hard as they have. Remember that Shadow's big jungler and his big pick is the Lee Sin. That jungler obviously known for his gank, and Shadow mechanically on Lee Sin is beautiful and very fun to watch. On these more farming-oriented junglers, he tries to play them like a Lee Sin. He tries to force ganks, then ends up wasting a bunch of time where he's not moving quickly through his jungle and he's falling farther and farther behind. And when the ganks aren't successful, it's a double whammy, because then you lose all of that time that you could have been building your own lead. And that's what Mad Lions have fallen into now, and they have a composition that doesn't need to fight. They also have scaling. They need to slow it down, back it up, go back to farming basics.
Bolulu, though, continuing to just bully in this mid lane. If you're wondering how this is happening, how isn't Corki just bullying this guy out? It's because, well, if you auto the set and you just try to poke him out of lane, he W's the wave and it ends up under your tower. So winning this matchup is actually a nightmare. Getting any greater advantage than a few CS, and as Corki opted to start Cole, has not completed a Mana Moon yet, and even when he does, not the strongest first item spike, he can't bully out the same way that he did in the Cassiopeia lane. Will be stronger, arguably, with the extra range and the extra safety that the Corki can provide later on, but for now, does not have the power, doesn't pack enough of a punch to really dissuade Bolulu from pushing in.
And for now, everyone should be chilling. Cacao and SuperMassive have a lot of control right now, especially through their priority of bot lane and mid lane, but Cacao is on topside camps. He should clear his topside camps, move bot lane, and as soon as he does, make use of all of the vision that SuperMassive had invested into Shadow's bot side jungle. You can see that they've spotted him out on the Gromp, that they're constantly checking into River, and they're basically just waiting for Lilia to complete her topside camps and then decide where they want to act. In fact, we're even pivoting. He's going to Herald. They're like, oh, wow. Trading that?
But the thing is that if they want to up the tempo, they have absolutely every right to, because right now you see Armut on the top side, an empowered stun from Renekton just barely shreds through the passive shield. So if they can snowball a bigger advantage than just about the 1,000 that they have under their belt now, they may never give Mad Lions a chance to scale into this game. That said, they've already given up the dragon, and it will put Kakao a little bit behind here because Graves is moving into his jungle to look to take camps away. Will not take the red, however, so we'll even out.
It depends on what SuperMassive actually get off of this Herald. Like if it snowballs or springboards someone super far ahead of the clock, and then they use that to kind of break open the game. But I actually really disagree with handshaking on Herald for Infernal right now.
Snowflower not handshaking anybody as the snare will connect. They're going to try to focus down the Leona. Good damage now coming in. A second trap to follow. Kaiser now taken down. Carzzy just poking on the backside, but will not amount to much.
And this is why. You had Carzzy and Kaiser locked into the lane with Zeitnot and Snowflower, and your bot lane is very powerful, not only in their kill pressure, but also in their priority pressure. I feel like SuperMassive actually could have played that out where they got both the Infernal and the Herald, and they didn't actually have to handshake and give Mad Lions something on the map. It is good news for LEC fans, but I think actually a bit of a misstep for SuperMassive. Not super punishing, but just something to watch for.
And to be fair, good news or a consolation prize at best, because they're still finding these 2v2 bot lane kills, because while we praised Kaiser for saying, hey, you see the Black Shield go down, you engage on the other target. SuperMassive, yeah, Leona looks pretty tanky, but they see the cleanse on Carzzy, so they immediately just know that they can 100-0 Kaiser on the back of that play, and Caitlyn sustaining any kind of lane advantage here is going to be a nightmare for Carzzy, especially to deal with.
Now, where I expect the Herald to be used from Kakao is probably going to be the bot lane. He could use it mid, especially if they make a pick and then try to quickly push down the tower.
Dunk back down. Humanoid, he's already left out. He's going to be forced to flash here as he sees Malphite coming in. No. Fantastic patience on the trigger finger there. Does not burn the flash, so is able to hold on.
So I expect Kakao to use the Herald bot lane because it's about picking up your Caitlyn and then start moving her around the lanes and funneling plates into her. So again, my suspicion is that Kakao's waddling his little Bambi butt down here. Gonna place this behind Caitlyn as Mad Lions are trying to hold the line.
If Mad Lions can attack it in the setup, it will be more difficult for SuperMassive. A lot of burst damage there between the Leona and Graves combo, and Lilia is still quite squishy, especially with the Boots of Lucidity. Will help further increase the jungle speed clear, but obviously will weaken a lot of the skirmishes as Bolulu now continues to push in the mid lane. He's going to grab 2 plates for himself, and this set mid looking a lot better against the Corki than it did against the Casio.
And you already talked about some of those trade patterns as here we go.
Graves waiting around, Zeitnot caught out, but the Zenith Blade down, they can feel a little bit more comfortable to approach, or they could if Carzzy hadn't been focusing on clearing the creep wave. Humanoid with the Sheen now out, as well as the Muramana. Pretty happy in this mid lane matchup, but it looks like he's going to be forced to burn Flash here as Armut's on the way in. He's holding on the ultimate, knowing he can just walk this one down. Humanoid will hold on to his summoners, but it's going to cost him his life.
You can see it on Humanoid's face. He's like, that's it for me. Bolulu and Armut are like, too easy, man. Better luck next time.
Yeah, this is just the most value Tabby's game in the world. Because, like, obviously, if you don't know, Corki's autos are converted to magic damage, or 80% at least, but Tabby's still going to block 10% of that. And Tabby's is all it took for Zed to be pretty uncomfortable just tanking literally everything in this lane.
So the adaptation here, of course, with the TP from Arma is that because they managed to kill Humanoid.
No one get that play called?
Kakao, it's a bit sideways. Kakao decided to place the Herald mid lane and try to punish the fact that Corki's not there. We're continuing to funnel plates in. I still would have preferred to see it on the Caitlyn bot lane, but Mad Lions did do a good job throwing 3 members down there, and Kakao literally stood in bot river, like between bot and mid lane, being like, am I putting it here? Am I putting it there? Just like doing this little dance.
Yeah, but it looks like they did get a Rome's TP in that exchange. Not sure if he TP back to lane or TP to mid to stop the Herald push from coming through. Would have liked it if Kakao just stuck in the area to get the gold. Maybe I missed that one. Maybe the gold did pop over to him, but it didn't look like it, so bit awkward. And well, it's going to get more awkward because that's a level 10 Malphite, that much closer to level 11 and a second point in ult. He's got a Sunfire Cape and is working towards tabbies of his own. So game does not get easier for Mad Lions. Mostly feels like it's about weathering the storm right now for some of these tankier members until Humanoid can get some of the necessary penetration to get through those defensive stats.
Right, here comes, again, the only lane that Shadow can play into right now, because obviously he does 80 damage, Renekton does 80 damage, and that is full tank Malphite, so not a lot of kill pressure there. So he's going to constantly be clearing his waves and then looking bot lane. I'm
sorry, that was an incredibly BM thumbs up.
That hurts a lot.
This is literally the best feeling ever, though, as a Malphite.
You're like,
when the stun doesn't break the shield, oh, he's walking in the tower. He doesn't care.
You can do nothing, Arome. There is no god for you here.
He has to find someone else to kill. Maybe Kakao will wander too close to the crocodile, but the Rock is unafraid.
Okay, Mad Lions are fishing for somehow to break this game, but look at Armont. Here comes Dwayne Johnson.
Waddle on his way down. Humanoid is burned unstoppable. Still has the flash and the cleanse. He's been holding on to these summoners all game. It hasn't saved his life, but maybe he can save his life now. The entire team collapsing. Oh no, Armont sees it. That's going to be a two-man knockup, and goodbye to Humanoid. He needs to get his way out of that one. The cleanse now coming in, but Armont's bit off more than he could chew because now he's been caught out. That's the shutdown. This is big. The Renekton can start to shift things back in his favor. Unstoppable now as Bolulu goes into the fight. Big haymaker across the backside, and Cacao is playing cleanup. Mad Lions thought they found their opportunity, but Supermassive take it away in an instant.
I mean, Bolulu took it away with a single punch right there. You saw it, the hope, the fact that Humanoid was still alive, and like you said, the haymaker comes across the face and just cleans that team fight up. It's in the mid lane tower down and access into the dragon for Supermassive.
A historic moment for the TCL on the cusp of victory against the 4th seed from the LEC, that much closer to a spot in Worlds Groups. The first best of 5 they will have taken away from EU, the first best of 5 they'll have taken from a major region. 07 versus China, 09 versus Korea, 1-8 versus NA. 4 wins versus EU coming into this series. They could find their 5th here if they can take down the Mad Lions, and it certainly looks like they are set to do so.
Like you said, Dracos, Armont saw his moment. He then immediately goes into the back line. Huge damage to Humanoid. Dives a little bit too deep as Orome flashes forward to pick up the kill, but right here, Bolulu takes Renekton into the back line, then cleans up Humanoid with the range of the W and allows Supermassive to just wipe that fight, take the tower into the dragon, and now are also on the Herald.
And the stopwatch coming in clutch there. It looks like it was now been sold by the side of Snowflower, but he did have it in that last fight. Humanoid trying to get what he can, but with no plates available, it's not really going to be a big amount of gold. And again, we are now in a situation, I think the second time in this series, where we are seeing Mad Lions build a composition heavily focused around a single damage type. Both times in this series it has been AD, and this time the punish is even worse. Last time it was Sion with all the armor, now it is Sion and Set building nothing but armor, and they will be unkillable at this point in the game as Orome's going to do what he can to pick up the scraps, but Armut's going to tank 3 tower shots and still be favored in this 1v1.
And the rest of Supermassive are going to collapse here. One of the big issues, I'll hold it.
Knockup, magic damage there, is going to dunk down. Trying to dash out to safety, but that's going to be Sleepy. Malphite does not care about the damage, and they'll donate that one to Zeitnon.
One of the big issues that Mad Lions are going to fall into is it's going to be really hard to contest the mid lane. A, because it's a Senna and she doesn't push that fast. Now, Corki obviously will, but if it's just the 2 AD carries here, and also because you're missing flashes on Humanoid and Karzi, so they can't be as aggressive with how far they want to push this lane down, especially missing the tower. And that means that Supermassive are always going to have movement access into their side lanes. They're always going to have a numbers advantage, which is just what happened to Mad Lions in the top lane there.
Man, this is brutal. Again, we have another game where Cacao is wildly ahead in terms of the jungle matchup. Almost 40 CS in his favor now. He's got the Leandries. It's 17 minutes. He has boots too, no jungle item, and Leandries. And on top of that, he has 2 incredibly beefy frontliners to back him up, to give him the space that he needs to perform in these team fights. So Mad Lions, they're not out yet. It's not over till it's over. It's not over until that Nexus falls. It is only getting harder. The odds continue to stack against them.
If you're a Mad Lions fan, you're obviously looking for, we hate these words, the 2-item power spike for Corki.
Sure.
It does mean that it's going to take a lot of farm. You already talked about it. They have great scaling, but right now, until those flashes come back up on their Senna and their Corki, and the teleport is back available for Rome just now, they have to play really shallow in their lane. You can see Karzi right now. He basically has to wait for the wave to push to him, which always means this. Morgana and Caitlyn are moving first. They are now into the river. They possibly caught out Kaiser.
Yep.
Thank you, observers. They have caught out Kaiser.
Cannot get away from the Lily. Once she has a lead, they're going to donate that one over to Zeitnon again, further snowballing the Caitlyn, already at 2 items. Again, only 18 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. This is a masterclass in dominance from Supermassive. I felt like they were winning in draft, and they have now done nothing but execute in this game 5.
And there's no punish that Mad Lions have available. They can't gank top lane. They can't kill Malphite, but Shadow's going to run up here and try anyway. Meanwhile, Herald is smashing down Mad Lions mid lane, and they'll turn onto the Drake.
Breaking that one.
Let's see how successful they are top.
2 members. He's holding on. He already used the ultimate, has the flash, not quite available, but they can't chase him down.
And now they're overextended with all of Supermassive collapsing on them.
Slowly but surely, they're backing away. The tower's quite low. Do SuperMassive want to go for the dive here? Once again, Armo could just walk forward. He can tank about 5 or 6 of these tower shots before he really has to be concerned. 3, 4, looking for 5. He's actually just unkillable. SuperMassive, though, staying around for so long. They're not quite able to finish the tower, so potentially a bit too greedy from them, but will not cost them much in the end.
Now, in response, that does mean that Carzzy and Kaiser are trying to immediately rush towards the mid lane wave as Arome caught stepping too far forward.
Locked up. Potentially knocked out here. The Ignite now going down. Arome, Titanot now dominating. Mad Lion stepping far too far forward. Big ulti coming out, but Snowflower has the flash to take him to safety, and the tower does go down there.
And across the last 5 minutes where SuperMassive have picked up a dragon, they've gotten 2 towers in mid lane, they then rotated, picked up a kill on Arome, and then grabbed the top lane tower. The only thing that Mad Lions have managed to get back is some waves for Humanoid in the bot side of the map. Because they pulled Kaiser and Carzzy top to try to collapse, they didn't get the mid lane tower, but Lulu picked up all of that wave, is now shifted back bottom, is picking up this wave. It has just been a massive win across map for SuperMassive in the last 5 minutes. You can see it reflected in the gold lead. That is disgustingly large.
Yeah. As we look at this game 5, it doesn't...
Thank you.
Mad Lions are playing League of Legends on patch 10-19.
That's the cliff I'm about to throw myself off of when Mad Lions lose this game.
And SuperMassive, I mean, they're just playing Mad Lions. They know the track. You saw Kakao has done this so many times across the series, waiting in the fog of war, looking and fishing for these picks. And because he's so powerful, because his team is so powerful, it just gets easier and easier. There are fewer and fewer wrong choices and more opportunities for a SuperMassive with, as you said it, a 7K gold lead.
Now, imagine this. Imagine if they hadn't handshook on that Infernal and suddenly SuperMassive were setting themselves up for Soul Point on Ocean. Like, that is the only silver light that Mad Lions have alongside this Corki damage, is that they got the early Infernal, and Humanoid is starting to get big.
TP, Humanoid is getting quite strong match damage running through Armut. Now Arome, though, stepping forward. Snowflower is going to get taken out, but that's a knockback in the turn. Someone needs to hit the tower, but no one is doing so. That means Bolulu is throwing down so much damage. Already has the crit damage reduction. It's Kakao off to the side. Has to be careful. Zeitnot, the body block, stepping forward. Mad Lions now on the retreat. They have the man advantage, but they certainly don't have it in the health bars. Kakao getting chipped away at. Glacial Augment buying so much space for Carzzy. Bolulu uses the knuckle down.
Carzzy playing on the edge.
Ooh, can't get the movement speed to step forward. They will back off there. Mad Lions felt like they had a way back to the game. You're seeing the strength of Humanoid, but it has not translated into anything yet.
But Devastation, though, they use the teleport. Humanoid is not running TP. He's running the cleanse here. Now SuperMassive can reset positioning and start playing cross-map with their teleport. And if Mad Lions mess up and get picked, they can't deal with this pressure point. They can't kill the Malphite, who's just going to hard force the wave since they don't have the TP. And now they have to really be stretched thin to juggle the Baron pressure that SuperMassive can exploit.
And it's just going to be hard because soon, I mean, the base towers feel safe. Tier 2s, if you don't have a couple members standing next to you, don't feel that safe. You've got a set with Ghost, who is just going to run you down even if you are able to Valkyrie away, if you're able to dash away on the Graves. Armut is continuing to get stronger. He doesn't really have any reason to build anything else. He's just now building a Null Magic Mantle, as we see there's some camera difficulties there. But 2-2 and 4, the scoreline for this Renekton. And this, I feel like Armut has had his flashy carry performances in the main stage, and now here in the best of 5, he's playing the role of the tank, and he's doing it phenomenally for the side of SuperMassive.
Yeah, and now it's just about closing it out for SuperMassive. They have a very powerful gold lead. They're now doing every step by the book, the checklist. They forced into mid. They used then the priority over mid to move in, set the triangle vision over Baron. Now back to mid lane to contest the wave. Armut goes back bottom. He's going to continue to shove that wave, and they're just looking for an opportunity to either use this triangle vision that they set up deep behind Baron Pit to find the TP from Malphite to end this, or wait until Mad Lions overcommit on the top side. Now while Armut is picking up this wave, it does mean inside track here for Arome. He slipped in behind Mad Lions, and Mad Lions want to hard force this engage. Watch Kaiser. He's their only source of engage.
Humanoid, though, already half health, makes things very difficult.
Destroyed. Like, nothing happened, but that's devastating if you're a Mad Lions fan, because now you see it, Arome, he missed his one opportunity where the wave was forward, where he had the movement that he could join his team, now has to return to pick up this wave, and now it's Armut's turn. And meanwhile, Caitlyn continuing to get stronger and stronger. 6-0 and 3 right now. Massive damage with each of these headshots.
Only gets scarier as well, and additionally, some defensive itemization that may not feel immediately clear to you is the Randuin's Omen for set in the mid lane, but Corki will build crit, and those magic damage crits are still reduced by Randuin's Omen. So before Humanoid can even finish the item, before Humanoid can even finish the Infinity Edge that he's looking for, the damage is already being mitigated, and that is brutal.
And the pivot play for SuperMassive. They're no longer going to try to weasel around the Baron and look for the pick. They're instead going to wait for the wave to crash and try to kill a Rome on this. They know that they don't have to flip it at Baron. That's the one way that Mad Lions have to really stall out this game and get a foot back into it. They continue to eat the map, and now Mad Lions again looking for the hard engagement, but just desperately chasing SuperMassive with no clear hard engage to try to catch them.
Yeah, the problem is as much range as Leona has on her engage, it's so easy for SuperMassive to turn it around if they have the necessary members in the area. It's so easy for them to just, on a dime, use that Malphite ult and delete the backline of the Mad Lions. And while the flashes and cleanses are both up for Humanoid and Carzzy, we're going to have to see if it's going to be enough, because it has not been so far. And for Mad Lions, this is feeling like the end, a massive deficit. They're holding on for now. SuperMassive haven't grown their gold lead too much since we last checked in on it, so maybe they can stall out for more items. We see the last Whisper coming in for Carzzy, but it is a difficult task ahead of them.
And the decision that Mad Lions need to make now is, will they fight for this dragon? It's not Soul Point because they got the early Infernal. They can actually let this one go and try to trade it for more waves on Humanoid and try to get him closer to that Infinity Edge, because the 3 items, you can see BF Sword Pickaxe, that's the big break point. Maybe wait another 5-minute timer before they're deciding between Baron and Soul. And I would prefer to see them wave the white flag and give this one away, because if you lose the team fight here, you're setting up for Soul immediately into Baron, and that would be the game.
Yeah, and at this point, you have the Cole completed, you have the BF Sword and the Pickaxe. Like, you will get the IE before the next dragon fight. But every time Mad Lions fight now with the deficit they're in, they're basically betting it all. Stepping forward.
There's the Banshee Veil on Carzzy.
That's going to be a nice battle. It's going to be 3. The set now immediately dunking down. It's too easy to set up the Wombo combo. Humanoid untouched for now. The package coming across the backside. He's immediately going to shut down Snowflower. Armlet next on the list. Humanoid absolutely popping off in the fight. And EU holding their breath as Humanoid tries to drag the Mad Lions across the finish line. That was a beautiful fight.
Look at the gold disparity. That was all Humanoid. That was nuts. Packages into the backline, flashes over the wall, manages to, like you say, drag Mad Lion's dead body into this Drake. But Cacao is still alive. He's on the back of the pit.
And after this play, all of Mad could be back alive. No, but a big haymaker, all these low health bars, and suddenly no. Zeitnot turning it back. Arome goes golden, but the trap just gets laid down. That's not what you want to be doing against a Caitlyn. And just like that, SuperMassive take hope away. They give Mad the briefest glimmer. They give Humanoid the briefest glimmer, but still SuperMassive take the fight and they take the Drake.
And SuperMassive could take the Baron. They have a tank and Balulu in front of them. They still have the jungler. He's got Smite available. Zeitnot is here. He is huge. This could be the nail in the coffin. Mad Lions decided that they wanted to plant their feet. If they were going to go toe-to-toe and fight SuperMassive, SuperMassive may have lost the battle, but they didn't lose the war. They picked up the dragon, they picked up the back half of the fight, they're going to pick up the Baron, and now they're setting themselves up to take down the Mad Lions and get a shot at Unicorns.
One final best of 5. They can take this one to decide if they earn a spot in the group stage. You'll have to feel good doing so, taking EU out along the way, the 4 seed from the LEC. And we take a look at this one more time. SuperMassive are finding the 3-man knockup, but watch Humanoid's response and then watch how SuperMassive turn it in the end.
Gets a spell shield immediately off of Carzzy, and then Armor pulls the trigger, and there you said Humanoid. Massive package across the team fight, flashes over the wall, then picks up the double kill, and from here, cut the tape! It looks good for LEC fans, but it's the extension of the fight, where Cacao reveals himself from nice control vision again. The vision game just being won by SuperMassive here. Picks up the Ocean Dragon. Balulu then turns it on to Humanoid and Kaiser.
And that's the thing. As strong as Humanoid is, Balulu does a lot of damage. You play at your max range, you play flawlessly, yeah, he can't touch you. But you get close to that set, he's going to hit you hard. And that's what we saw there. Naramut and the rest of SuperMassive, they're collapsing across multiple lanes. Humanoid alone on the top side of the map, trying to farm, trying to get something back. Yes, he's got the Muramana stack. Yes, he's got the Infinity Edge, but it might be too little too late. It looks like 2 inhibitors are going to be the price for him to continue to farm up.
You also have a Senna. She doesn't clear very well. Shadow's being caught off when he should be helping his team wave clear, but there's so much dive potential from SuperMassive because they have an unkillable Malphite, and there's not any wave clear if Corki's going to be playing a side lane. Mad Lions are just losing across the map. Like, this is desperation. They are being broken in half by SuperMassive.
Massive start to the fight, though. Kaiser trying to get forward, but the Zenith Blade follow-up is not there. So while it looked good, while 3 members locked it by that ult, certainly had to be a start that Mad were hoping for. There is no follow-up. 2 minutes and 30 seconds till the Ocean Soul presents itself for SuperMassive. They've still got 1 minute and 15 left of the Baron power play, and they might just look to end it. Here's Armlet, deletes Humanoid, the strongest member on the side of Mad Lions, the bastion of hope for Mad Lions fans everywhere. But with 2 members sleeping now, Bolulu is looking for the follow-up, he's looking for the finish. Mad Lions.
They've done it.
Oh, they're going to get taken out. They're going to get cut down in their own base. And the TCL, for the first time in World's history, will win a best-of-5 versus a major region team. They will send the 4th seed from the LEC home packing as they look to finish this one in style.
They could smell blood in the water. SuperMassive know that they've got him on the ropes. It's just within touching distance, a single nexus as Cacao will drop, but so will the Mad Lions. TCL are facing unicorns.